Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to a first look at an upcoming game that is currently available in early access. The developer is Game Labs. The game is Ultimate Admiral Age of Sail. This is a game that you can purchase, I believe, from Game Labs directly through their website. I'll throw a link in the description, but is not yet available for sale on Steam itself. This is a game that allows you to play both land and naval combat in the Age of Sail. So really looking at sort of the mid-1750s all the way through to the Napoleonic era is the time period that this game would cover. This is a game that will have two campaigns, a British and American campaign, will allow you to fight through the conflicts of the American Revolution, the War of 1812. I'm assuming from the British point of view there will be Napoleonic conflicts as well, although I don't know for sure. And has a lot of elements of the old Talonsoft Age of Sail games, which I think is really encouraging and awesome. In our previous video looking at this game, we looked at the Naval Combat, which in my mind is really the heart and soul of this game, but the game will also include land combat as well. And in this video, we're going to be taking a look at that. So our previous video was a tutorial of the naval combat. In today's video, we're going to be doing the tutorial for landing operations. And it takes me a little bit at points of time to stumble around and kind of learn some of the controls, but that is to be expected with any new game, even as you play through the tutorials. I do think the tutorials have some room to grow and to get a little bit better. Some of the language needs to be polished. Some of the verbiage needs to be polished. I am a little bit uneasy about some of the way they use the videos in this. But overall, I think the game in both of my scenarios that I played so far is incredibly encouraging and something that I'm really looking forward to see more of. And so that's what we're going to jump into today. Now, these two videos have been the tutorial. There are, I think, 4 main battles that are actually available in the game right now. If you guys are interested and if you kind of continue to express some interest in this, we can jump into those next time around, actually look at really what a real scenario looks like. The tutorials are pretty contained and somewhat easy to just jump in and play. I'm curious how the other battles look and how well they are put together. This is the last time I'll caveat this. This game is an early access. This is by no means a review. This is just my first look, my first impressions of that game in its current state. But I'm enjoying the hell out of the time that I've put into this so far, and I hope you guys enjoy the videos. But with that being said, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump back into the live stream from just the other night, and away we go. And thank you very much for the subscription there, Silent. I appreciate it. All right, so let's go back to that. You can see here under battles, they have Spanish Gold, Inconveniences, Filthy Smugglers, Acting Captain, available now. So that's 4 battles now with 2 more identified here. Spanish Gold appears to be a naval battle that occurred in 1804. This is when the British seized the Spanish gold galleons coming back from the Americas. Actually, this is chronicled in a Jack Aubrey book, where Aubrey commands one of the frigates, I think it was, that captured these ships, but then was denied the prize court money because it was whatever. Inconveniences, we must at all costs deliver to Belize an extremely important cargo transported by His Majesty's ship Centurion. Unfortunately, we were intercepted by the Spaniards. A lot of fighting the Spaniards in this. Filthy Smugglers, the smuggler network is operating along the Mosquito Coast. Their main activity is to traffic and loot from raids on settlements and ships to Spanish ports. It seems that corrupted Spanish officials, the San Juan expedition, so this is mostly, looks like we're fighting the Spanish in this campaign to this point, but that's interesting. There's an American campaign too, or there will be. There aren't any campaigns yet. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into a landing operation to see how this works. So small landing battle to learn the landing mechanics. You will set video tutorials to see the situation and understand what happens on screen and what is necessary to do. So this will be a tutorial, I'm assuming, of a landing battle and a limited amount of land combat. There are also small land battles as well, which this is not. So I'm just going to take a sip of my beer, check up with the chat, and then we will jump into a landing operation tutorial. Yes, I am a cheeky butcher. Hey, J Street. Ooh, you've got a little fancy cheer icon there. based off the bits. I mean, you always say I'm trying to be sneaky and get a stream in. By the way, you said you gave me 5 bits on my singing there on YouTube today. I didn't see any 5 bits, just saying. And because of that, I'm going to sing you my little jingle that was on my YouTube video today. That is a brand new jingle that was just developed. It was actually developed a couple months ago at my friend's bachelor party, but my friend got married over the weekend, and we all happened to do our little jingle there, or they made fun of me by doing it, but I think it's funny too, so I'm gonna go ahead with my new official intro song for the Historical Gamers YouTube channel. Let me just quench my thirst and begin the singing. Gaming is way through history, from Gettysburg to Tripoli, the historical gamer. Yeah, well, I don't know about Twitch. All I know is that you had to suffer through that horrible singing because of it. Not drunk. Oh, how drunk was I when this song was made? I wasn't super drunk. My friends may have been. The topic of discussion was very strongly focused on my YouTube channel, and then another individual who was there, who's a singer, who was actually auditioned on The Voice, didn't get picked, but he's a singer-songwriter and kind of makes a living doing that. Okay, so let's jump in. Charcoal, you missed the naval tutorial, so you're about 40 minutes late. You missed the naval tutorial of Ultimate Admiral Age of Sail. You have not missed the landing tutorial, which we're about to jump into. We were drinking 21-year-old scotch at the time, though, Charcoal. Hey, Charcoal, I always get complaints that I don't do the tutorials. And actually, I think the last one was a fun little battle, so might have been a tutorial, but it wasn't super boring. Anyway, we're jumping into a landing operation, a small battle to learn the landing mechanics. You will get set of video tutorials connected to situation to understand what happens on screen and what is necessary to do. I cannot, if I am in the field of glory, be kept out of sight. Admiral Horatio Nelson. Okay, I'm not going to read this because, yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into a landing operation. Looks like we're landing on a small little island. We have an objective in the corner of the island, and we'll see how this works. Are we going to get our little Horatio Hornblower and Jack Aubrey on? Our squadron made a sudden move to a Spanish island covering the trade routes from the colonies to Metropoli. You have to capture it. Also, the Admiral provide a brig, HMS Knight, for us to fire support. Be careful. Cannonballs does not care about the color of uniform, and sailors have aiming issues. Okay. After our troops land, climb the hill and seize the enemy coastal battery. All right, so we've got 2 troop transports, and then we've got, this is the brig Knight. It has 18 cannons. The other ships, Liverpool and Manchester, both have, I think they're more troop transports. I don't know if I don't know how to land. I'm just pointing them toward the sea, toward the coast. Hopefully that lands them. To land troops on the beach, you need first to anchor your ships. Then select boats to deploy. Okay, so we actually need to, looks like we need to anchor our ships, select the boats to deploy, embark the landed troops, and then we need to right-click on the landing spot. So actually, let's go ahead and anchor both these ships. Don't run aground, men. Don't run aground. Once we anchor, we should get an option to land our boats. Or not. I'm kind of confused. We're not moving here. I don't have any option to land my troops. Where am I supposed to go here? So if I right click and they turn in, will they land now? I'm like right up on the shore here. Well, I ran it aground. Why are there no boat options? The button on the top of the ships? Oh, that's dumb. Well, there you go. That icon wasn't super explanatory. In any event, we're going to go ahead and select our landing party. So we're going to go ahead and send 90. So we're going to send 180 soldiers ashore. We'll just click this little boat icon. I didn't even realize that was a boat icon. We're going to send these guys ashore. So we can zoom in here as these guys row ashore, doing their best Horatio Hornblower impersonation. And then we can see that these soldiers form into formation. They've spotted some enemy soldiers as well, and those enemy soldiers are skirmishers by the look of it. So we've got 180 men ashore. Feel like there should be more than that available to us. We'll send these guys ashore as well. So it looks like we got another 200 soldiers here. They've fallen back to the interior. Oh, forgot about these guys. All right, so we'll go ahead and send these guys up. Did I actually, like... Actually, no. How do I get these guys to go back to the boat? Because I need the knight to have... Actually, to have crew members aboard it. So I'm assuming if I just right-click back on the boat, they'll get back on the boat. Yes, they will. All right. That's simple. So these ships are kind of going to be helpless. They've got like a skeleton crew. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to send the ship Knight in this direction. And now that we've got these other soldiers coming ashore, we're going to just kind of right-click and select these guys, and we're going to form them up in a line. So it looks like the commands for land forces are pretty much the same as in Ultimate General Civil War. You basically can right-select a box, and then you can right-click and drag where you want your troops to form up. So we can do that here. We've got 4 units. We've got just shy of 400 men coming ashore. And then we've got the Knight, which is going to go over here and is going to bombard the fort, which I'm assuming is what we're supposed to take out over here. Although I don't see any actual cannons on the fort. So that'll be interesting. So we're going to have all of our troops converge on this militia. We'll see how this plays out. Just have these guys form up into the woods here. And then once they take the woods, they're going to move up against the fortifications over here. Our objective is to capture the battery site, which is over here. And so this is kind of mixing the land combat elements that they've already fleshed out a bit in Ultimate General Civil War with the naval elements that they're introducing with Age of Sail. And I think that's pretty cool. And again, it's a very Hornblower sort of vibe where you can do these little landing parties. I'm curious if they're going to have like just full-blown naval or land battles and really make it like a mix of everything Napoleonic. You can see there's enemy militia troops here. They're 500 stealth. Like, I don't understand why they're not shooting. Oh, they're shooting now. Ooh, I love the little sound of the flintlocks. All right, move them up the flank. Why aren't you guys moving over here? So we've got them outnumbered heavily, but they're in better defensive positions, I think. And they're doing a pretty good job of inflicting heavy casualties on us. We can see if we just hover, or if we click the militia, they have 100% speed, 50 cover, 2.5 stealth, 100 damage. Now that we're in position, the volleys are doing a little bit more damage. We've got Major Kemp's unit here into the flank of the militia. Captain Prescott is also moving this way. We've lost 15 men in Captain Bass's unit. Kemp just fired into the flank of the militia here. And we just broke them. Alright, so we drove them back. And then we'll have these guys continue to move this way. We're going to move toward the battery at the other end of the... Oh no, our ship is taking fire! We can't actually... Oh, this is so cool! This is like a Lieutenant Hornblower. We can't hit the enemy battery. It's too high up. We're too close. So you can see we're taking fire from the battery up here. And we took 10 casualties there. But we're actually too close for our cannons to train that high up. So we're going to have to see if we can bring the ship out to sea a little bit and maybe we can swing it around from a longer range. I'm not sure. Oh my god, look at all the damage we're taking. 3 more crew members dead. Goddamn land batteries are too strong for me. Alright, so let's see. We can actually do the same thing where we right-click and drag where we want our troops to go. Again, just like... What the hell are the Tiradoras? Are these like scouts? These skirmishers? Whatever they are, I've had enough of them. Showing up on our flank there. We're getting the ship out to sea. Oh my god, our armor is gone! Get the hell out of there. The wind is... We're sailing right into the wind. If you get sunk... I don't know what this little pump icon... Oh, this means we're flooding, doesn't it? We've got a little pump icon here, which I'm assuming means we're taking on water. We've got some troops engaged. Kemp's troops are engaged with these militia. I'd like him to charge and just finish these guys off. Militia's walking away. I've double-clicked on the enemy militia, double right-clicked, and that ordered a charge. So we're sending Kemp's boys forward with fixed bayonets. The enemy's retreating, but it doesn't look like they're retreating fast enough. So we are closing in on them. Alright, so they've turned and they're fighting now. So redcoats versus militia, Spanish militia. And the fight looks like it's going in our favor. So we're going to keep these other troops moving in this direction toward the battery, while Major Kemp deals with the land forces that we're seeing here. So they're retreating, and we're going to fire into the back of the retreating militiamen, and now they're routing. Again, the casualties are much less. So this actually I was complaining in the not really complaining, but in the last video we were talking about the naval combat casualties seeming a little bit high. But it's not. These aren't rifled muskets. We don't have the devastating, you know, losing half your unit in a volley or two that we would see in Scourge of War, Civil Wars. So that's a nice little change here. All right, these I'm assuming there's skirmishers here. They're going to why are they charging into? They're outnumbered 4-1. What are you nuts? So we've got a lot more melee combat maybe in this game. I'm not sure. Enemy infantry does have the high ground, but they're heavily outnumbered here. So militiamen here. Meanwhile, the Tiradoras, or whatever you however you pronounce that, are in melee combat here, getting wiped out. All right, so we did wipe that unit completely out. Meanwhile, Major Kemp may be stuck in a bad spot where he's going to have militia on his flank and skirmishers to his front. Fortunately, I don't think the skirmishers will last very long. We're going to probably take another volley, though, here. We'll see how our morale holds up. You can see here on the bottom left, you've got the condition, the morale, the cover, supply, reloading, information about the officer. All right, so we just finished off those guys. Now we can turn and no longer be flanked. We can hit I to get a little bit of information. They've got a percussion rifle, actually, so it's not a flintlock. Sea Service 38 percussion rifle, reload stats, efficiency stats, melee stats, information about Major Kemp himself. Looks like these militiamen are on a... No, they're just on the beach. We're just fighting them on the beach here. How's our ship, by the way? How's our brig? Where's she sailing off to? Alright, looks like you finally stopped flooding. So I don't think it's going to be very useful in the taking of the battery. I don't think the ship is going to be terribly useful. Nice. Go ahead and charge, boys. Granted, they're exhausted. Their condition is 0, so I guess we probably can't charge. Can they at least close the distance here so you have a little bit more effective musketry? Volley fire! I'd like to say watch those Continentals run, but it's not. We're fighting the Spanish. Alright, so we're advancing on the battery here. There's a coastal battery with 32 men, 6-pound coastal batteries. And, yeah, so we're fighting them. There's not very many men in the batteries. You can see here we're contesting it. Looks like it's going to turn to our side. We're engaging in some melee combat. We outnumber them very heavily. Captain Bass is taking his dear sweet time coming up here. But the battery is ours, folks. So now we can actually send our troops, one of our units in here to man the battery, and now I have these 6-pound coastal batteries here. So the site is ours. Meanwhile, the militia over here routed, and that is a victory for yours truly. The battle, 3 ships, 18 guns, 510 crew. The enemy has no ships. Fleet casualties, we lost 184 men at sea to that battery just by sailing around. And also, I think that counts our... so that counts our infantry. So the troops we set ashore were actually not all regular infantry. Some of them were just Marines of a landing party, and some of them were actually ship's crew by the looks of it, because we had no army strength. They had an army strength. They had 90 infantry killed and 40 missing out of 130. They also had 40 guns, 40 men and 7 guns, which I'm assuming they lost all of. You can see the goals here. We hold the battery site, the units. Heavy damage to all the Spanish units. The Tirados all look like they're pretty much destroyed. The militia also pretty much destroyed. The Manchester and Liverpool and HMS Night Cruise, you can see here, we captured the 6-pound coastal battery. We had multiple promotions of different officers, and we seized or we captured some Sea Service 38 muskets and Sea Service 38 musket and sword bayonet. So that kind of makes me think that they're going to adopt some of the statistics or the army management element of the game that existed in Ultimate General Civil War. I hope they do. That's going to be kind of cool if it's like managing your overall vessels and your overall sort of core unit. But I also hope there's historical battles in here too. So, I'd like to see some of the Ultimate General Civil War stuff incorporated into the game, but I also really do hope that there's options to play through historical scenarios as well, which I think was one of the really strong points of Talonsoft's Age of Sail, was that the game was very, very grounded in the history of the era and grounded in the actual battles that you could fight. You could fight custom battles, but you also had like a list of like 80 historical engagements to pick from, which was pretty awesome. Additionally, it doesn't look like there's multiplayer, but that would be fun to be able to play naval battles against other humans. Age of Sail by Talonsoft was one of the... Age of Sail 2 by Talonsoft was one of the my first games ever that I played a lot of online, and that was just a tremendous experience. Played in a online clan called the Virtual Fleets long after the game was popular, so it was a relatively small community, but it was really a lot of fun. What I see so far about Ultimate Admiral is really encouraging, and I enjoy. I hope to see more as the game moves along. Probably in a future stream, I know this is a little bit of a shorter stream, but in a future stream we'll probably, try one of these actual scenarios and see how they play out. But that was the tutorial. That was my first look, and I guess I would just ask you guys, what are your thoughts? Is this something that looks interesting to you? Do you want to see more of this? Or, why don't you share that? All right, everybody, this seems about as good a point as any to round this video up and stop. That was the tutorial of the landing combat, the landing operations, where you have both naval and land forces cooperating together in a battle. I'm really excited to see how the larger land combat works. I'm also curious if the game will introduce cavalry or anything like that, to see how the game models that, but that will be for another time. If you guys continue to enjoy this series, I will be happy to continue the game and take a look at some of the early battles. At the very least, when the campaign becomes available, I will be definitely jumping into that with both feet, because I really want to see how this game develops. I'm excited about this. I do have some reservations about some things in the game, but it is way too early to know how that will all play out. And so far, everything that I'm seeing here is really encouraging, or if not, certainly can be fixed before release. Because, again, it's a game that's in early access. With that being said, though, that's enough of me rambling. I'll go ahead and sign off here. This was Ultimate Admiral Age of Sail, a first look at the tutorial of the land combat. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave your thoughts below. And as always, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm out.